What's up, cool people? I'm Matt Conroy. Welcome back to my vlog. Kind of hot topics-ish. Um, so, there's been a pretty big stir lately with the announcement of the upcoming Doctor in Doctor Who. I'm not a real big fan of Doctor Who. I haven't watched it that much, to be honest, but there's this whole big tizzy going on about the fact that the next Doctor is going to be female. Like, I don't know for sure if that breaks kind of with the story's canon or anything like that. I mean, all the doctors up to this point have been male, but I feel like, to the best of my knowledge, it doesn't completely break with the story, so I don't see why it's a big problem. If it does break with the story, then yeah, maybe that's a bit of an issue, because suddenly you're going against the natural flow of the story just to have a female protagonist in there. And that's what I kind of don't like about the way some of the movies and TV shows and stuff like that have gone recently. They've inserted particular people just to have that there. Like, certain movies are inserting African American or female or gay or lesbian or whatever minority protagonist just to have that in there. It's not for the sake of the story that they're doing it. They're doing it because, hey, it's going to appeal to this particular demographic, and we know we can get them if we have this type of character as the protagonist in our movie or TV show. And I don't like people doing that just for the sake of that purpose, because they think it'll draw in that particular audience. Now, if there is a legitimate story-based reason to have the character like that, then sure, go with it. At the same time, I don't like the other end of the spectrum where people are bashing on decisions to have a female protagonist or a black protagonist or what have you. Because why? What's the problem with it? Okay, yeah, maybe you've had a particular character that's historically white based on previous iterations of that, but they're like, if you're trying to kind of break off from what's been going on before, then I don't see it as a big issue to change certain characteristics of your protagonist or whatever main character involved in the story. So, I don't know. I take a very middle ground to this. I guess I'm a bit indifferent, you might say. There are a lot of movies and TV shows that are doing this kind of thing now, and I'm honestly not invested enough in the story, typically enough, to really, you know, put my feelings out there on whether or not it should be done from a story perspective. And I really think that's what should be driving these decisions is, does it fit with the story? Because, like, okay, there have been people complaining about, inserting female protagonists. And, okay, there are instances where, yeah, it didn't really work out so well. Take the recent Ghostbusters movie, for example. I feel like they made it an all-female cast just because they felt like they needed to undo the all-male cast from before, or what have you. Like, I don't know, it was specifically a counter to the previous movie and what wound up happening. I don't think the directors of the first Ghostbusters movie really intentionally sat down and said, we're going to have an all-male cast because forget you females. No, I think it was more so just something that happened. They felt like they found good actors based on the roles that they were looking to fill. I don't know. But this most recent Ghostbusters movie, the fact that they specifically went out and got an all-female cast, and the intent behind it, I'm pretty sure, was we're going to have an all-female cast. We don't care about the quality. Well, I mean, not that they don't care about the quality of the actors at all, but I feel like their desire to do that trumped their desire to have the actors fit into the story, or even have the fact of it being all female main characters. It was honestly, it was kind of a shots fired intent to it. And I don't like people doing that. I don't like people specifically getting women or some sort of minority as the focus of their movie just because it's a up yours kind of scenario. You know? It's not a good way to go about hiring a cast or looking at a movie's story or anything like that. Now, at the same time, I think there are some other situations where, they really maybe should get a particular minority actor where they're not. Some of these whitewashing kind of situations, like, was it that one? I think it was Gods of Egypt or something like that. That one movie that came out recently that had Tom Cruise starring in it or something like that, revolving around Gods of Egypt. I think that's what the title of it was. I don't know, but like the entire cast was white. What? But then at the same time, you take the new Beauty and the Beast movie version, the live action one that just came out within the past year or whatever. It's set in France. If you're trying to make it any kind of accurate, have some people that have a French accent in there more than just freaking Lumiere. Seriously. Like, all the actors had British accents other than Lumiere. What? If we're trying to go for authenticity or something like that, which I feel like you should be doing a little more so with a live action movie, get some people with French accents in there. It's like, I don't know, people can't make up their minds with whether they want to try to be authentic or not. And, some of the actors that are being hired for some of these movies, okay, yes, I understand you want to have a good actor that you know is a good actor and probably has some kind of particular weight and prestige to their name. So that's why you have something like Scarlett Johansson starring in Ghost in the Shell. But at the same time, I feel like you don't need to just have that prestige and that name to your main protagonist. I can understand from a money-making standpoint why you would want to do that. But again, going back to the story aspect of it and trying to make it authentic and as true to form as you can, I feel like some of the decisions that are being made are just not very good in that regard. Whether it's the whitewashing aspect of it or going the opposite way just because you feel like you want to attract a particular minority group or something like that. That's not how you should do it. Do it based on the story, all right? The story is really what's supposed to be driving these movies, unless it's Transformers or something like that. Any Michael Bay movie where it's all about action and explosions and all that kind of stuff. You're not driving it with the story. But for most other movies, the story is the main component to it. So you need to hire actors that fit into the main story. And especially if you're separating from the source material purely with your decision on a protagonist and who you're going to have acting in that role, just no. Try to stay true to form as much as you can while still getting a good actor for it. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's gone both ways in a lot of cases, and it has on both sides caused for some really bad decisions, some really bad casting decisions in some recent movies. Now, I will say something that went right to the best of my understanding. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, honestly, and I really should. I'm sorry. But Get Out, I think, was a really well cast movie. And I think the acting in it was really good too, just based on what I've seen. I realized I probably shouldn't have done this. I went and watched the CinemaSins Everything Wrong with Get Out while I haven't even seen the movie itself. I know, I'm sorry, but based on what I've heard and what I've seen from that was a movie where a lot of stuff was done right. the casting was done well, the acting was done well, and just everything about it. And this is supposed to be, it's a horror movie that was directed by a guy that's known for comedy. Like, just totally out of the blue, something you wouldn't expect. But if you're looking for, a good example of a job done well in the casting department, I think that's probably a prime example of something recent that was done well. But anyway, so I feel like really with a lot of this, people are making acting decisions for reasons that they shouldn't be. Just make your casting decisions based on, does it fit the story and are they a good actor? Period. I really think that's all you need to do when making your casting decision. Now, granted, I'm not in that business, so I don't know for sure what all should go into it. But I feel like, from my personal perspective and opinion, that's really all that needs to go into your casting decisions. So people need to stop having these other reasons for bringing in their particular cast members. And again, I think it has gone both ways in terms of, neglecting or pushing particular groups of people. So I'm not going to complain too much if it goes one way or the other. Again, my primary concerns, I know I'm saying this and I probably sound like a broken record, but I feel like the primary concerns should be, does it fit with the story and are they a good actor? Anything else beyond that, I don't think you really need. There shouldn't be any other qualifiers, unless it's like some kind of a musical and you need somebody who can sing. Okay, there are certain exclusions and exemptions or whatever, certain additions for certain types of movies that you need. Okay, I get it. But otherwise, just have somebody who fits the story and is a good actor, all right? So, again, kind of with the original starting discussion point on this topic, when it comes to having a female Doctor Who, does it fit the story? If yes, then fine. No problem with a female actor in there, as long as they're a good actor. But if it breaks away from the story, then okay, I can kind of understand having a bit of an issue with that. Otherwise, I don't see what the big deal is, honestly. It's just, not something I really care enough about to really get into any kind of heated argument over it. So anyway, I know that was probably way longer and more drawn out than it needed to be, but I wanted to make sure I covered all my thoughts related to this topic, because I'm tired of doing part twos. So anyway, that's all I've got for you this time around. As always, like and share if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel to see more stuff as I post it. Make sure you click the notification bell and check the box to get notified whenever I post my latest videos so you can stay updated on all that. Or if you'd prefer, you can follow me on Facebook and Twitter. More information on that is down in the description. I keep up with those two pretty regularly. I also have Instagram, which I post some stuff on occasionally, but I'm honestly not as active as I am on Facebook and Twitter, just because posting YouTube content is difficult on Instagram. So yeah, feel free to follow me on all those. Info down in the description. Leave comments with your thoughts on this video or any others, any other topics you'd like me to talk about. I'm probably going to wrap up the Hot Topics series soon. This might even be kind of the last Hot Topic video I do this summer. But yeah, just the school year starting soon, and I'm going to be kind of breaking away from that Hot Topics thing as that gets going. So anyway, I guess that's going to do it. Hope you're all doing well. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video, but in any case, stay cool, people.